If lining things up, sorting drawers, or putting objects back where they belong makes your chest feel lighter in seconds, this video is about you. And before you brush that off as, "I'm just weird like that," let me stop you right now. This isn't about being neat. This isn't about aesthetics, and it definitely isn't about being controlling. What you're doing is something far deeper. You're regulating your mind in a world that rarely gives you that option. Here's the truth no one tells you. Some people don't relax by lying down. They relax by putting things in order. And the moment something clicks into place, shelf, book, cable, or corner, something clicks inside them too. That feeling isn't imaginary. It's your brain exhaling. People love to joke about organizers. They say things like, "Just let it be messy," or "It's not that serious." But to your nervous system, it actually is that serious, because clutter doesn't just sit there. It talks. It whispers unfinished tasks, visual noise, decisions waiting to be made. And for a brain that processes deeply, that whisper never shuts up. When you organize, you're not chasing perfection. You're lowering the volume of the world. Psychology shows that our brains treat our environment like feedback. Order signals safety, predictability, completion. Chaos signals alertness. When your surroundings are messy, your brain stays slightly on edge, even if you don't consciously notice it. That's why you can feel tired in a cluttered room without doing anything. Your mind is working overtime just to ignore what's around you. Now, here's where it gets interesting. People who love organizing often have highly responsive reward systems. Every small task completed sends a gentle hit of dopamine, not the loud, addictive kind, but the calm, good job kind. Making the bed, clearing a surface, aligning objects. Each one quietly says, "You're capable. You handled something." And in a world full of uncertainty, that matters more than people realize. But organizing isn't just chemical, it's emotional. For many people, especially those who feel deeply, the external world can feel unpredictable. Conversations change, plans fall apart, people misunderstand you. But your space, that's yours. When you organize, you're creating a place where things behave, where objects stay where you put them, where effort leads to visible results. That sense of control isn't about power, it's about relief. Think about it. When life feels overwhelming, do you suddenly want to reorganize a drawer, clean a shelf that wasn't bothering you 5 minutes ago? That's not procrastination. That's your brain reaching for something it knows how to fix. And here's something beautiful most people miss. Organizing is how many people process emotion without words. Some people talk things out. Some people cry, some people journal, and some people sort, stack, and clean. For them, movement replaces conversation, structure replaces chaos, action replaces rumination. That's not avoidance, that's intelligence. For others, organizing is creative. Their home becomes a living expression of how they think. Where things go isn't random, it's intentional. Books here, light there. Objects spaced just enough to breathe. It's design, but it's also identity. The space becomes a mirror, calm, clear, thoughtful. And then there's the deeper layer people rarely talk about. For some, the love of organizing comes from growing up in unpredictable environments, homes where noise, mess, or emotional chaos were normal, where order was rare. So now, as adults, they build what they didn't have. Every organized shelf becomes a quiet promise. This space is safe. This space listens. This space won't surprise you. That's not obsession. That's healing. This is also why organizing can feel strangely emotional. Ever noticed how decluttering sometimes makes you tired or nostalgic? Because letting go of objects isn't just about space, it's about identity. Every item carries a version of who you were, who you hoped to be, or what you once needed. Choosing what stays and what goes is you rewriting your story in physical form. And here's the part that will make you smile. People who love organizing are rarely doing it for others. They're not trying to impress, they're not waiting for compliments. In fact, many of them feel slightly annoyed when someone messes up what they have arranged, not because of the mess itself, but because it disrupts the peace they carefully built. To them, a clean, organized space isn't nice, it's necessary. Psychologists often find that these people tend to be observant, thoughtful, and emotionally tuned in. They notice small changes, small details, small shifts in energy, and those small things add up quickly. So organizing becomes a way to reset before the world overwhelms them. And let's clear something up right now. Loving organization does not mean you're rigid. It does not mean you lack spontaneity, and it definitely doesn't mean you're controlling other people. It means you understand something powerful, that your outer world influences your inner one. That's wisdom. Now, there is a line, and it matters. Organizing should bring peace, not pressure, relief, not fear. If the idea of disorder causes panic instead of discomfort, that's worth gently exploring. But for most people who love organizing, it's not anxiety-driven, it's clarity-driven. They don't organize because they're afraid of mess, they organize because they feel better afterward. And honestly, that's one of the healthiest feedback loops there is. So if you're someone who feels calmer after resetting a room, happier after clearing a space, or more focused once things are in order, you're not too much. You're not obsessive. You're someone whose brain thrives on intention. You understand that peace isn't something you wait for, it's something you build. One drawer, one shelf, one small decision at a time. And here's a line you might want to remember. Some people meditate by sitting still. Others meditate by putting things where they belong. If this video made you feel understood without being judged, that's not an accident. That's what this channel exists for. To explain the habits you've always had but never had words for. And if you caught yourself nodding, smiling, or thinking, finally, someone gets it, share this with someone who always apologizes for needing things organized. They might stop apologizing after this.